Adeshimamba ye mamu ina chimamu akwaba no pay Edmoba KFM TV so anope emraso sensema yabo ano efie man mu ne dini a ebeso mo se no so pay mo kase wo KFM TV ne so na no pay me kai wo sensem no edoso ye papa na jumeko bi adaroma ana no pay wo mo ebo metri do ma me din semi me de eba beso mo aseda stronko enkonfama yabo afo KFM Musical Center Dadaba Tech Hub and a Talent Microfinance womo ana no pay womo ebo metri do ma me din semi me de beso mo na nsem no edoso de ebedi mo akotini ebi osemofo asema mi working kind for yi me so me de beso mo ebi ene se NPP amenu ko no a womo ewo Sweden enso de abasbodi ensem kwadi ama Dr. Mahmoud Baumia se womo primacy kunimdie etimi akọ de ama nan no yede mu nsem yede eba beso mo anope sa enso so ana yenuanu mozemi for womo Ramadan akomcha omode hihyes no eno enam so ama Ernest Adomako abone homoden di foodstuffs ahodo akopie mu kan kwe South awono ano mrahye bedwani wo ho no wodi nduane ahodo akoboa yenuanu muslimi for no so yede mu nsem yede ebeba beso mo ho yede dwede nsem ebeka ho ama National Chief Farmer enso ede nsem bi abetudwa wode kwama cocoa farmers ahodo a womo ewo my Ghana ha no anope yebedomo esuko ama wo kase no eso yede ni gede nsem ebeka ho ade amount no so DKB enso ade nsem bi abetudwa ebusiafo we ni nsem ni afoforo pi anope yabo ano ayede beso mu se no sumpe mu kase wo KFM TV ne so na no pay nsemi etwegu ewe abefontentam fidie ne so Facebook any YouTube KFM TV GH no to wetimi ahwebi na wa share na wa like na wa dwenche no so udi guasie ama mekama kama kenkan fo no pay edin ameje so ene maami esin kroma medane me ho sema me ba me hyensem na se ede ama ya sama mu ina akwa ba eda mo asesa no pay mu gusu etmu TV no ho amo hwe no so pay mu kase na mekoso ekai wosa no pensami etwegu ewe abefontentam fidie ne so Facebook and YouTube KFM TV GH eno to betimi ahwebi na wa share na wa like na wa dwentwe no so di guase ama me kama no pay me hyensem na se ade ama ode adom kuma no ba no deni onmonyamfo Alexander Afenyoma Kens akopie mu ewe futu mrahye bedwafia wono ano mrahye bedwani wo ho wodi nsem bia betudwa wode kwama mampani John Dramani Mahama na aban awmubu ewo my Ghana wo chimsenke ya wo munja slogan ahodo a womodigu kwam no wo mfa enwuma kasa real jobs no wo mfa bi embro my Ghana ha ne no pene ya de ebeboa ama nipa dodo na wo munye adwuma nye ewo my mu no wo so ometimi enya adwuma ayensem we anonmonyamfo Alexander Afenyoma Kens wodi abetudwa yenso yedi bi esom.
We have seen a government that believes in rhetorics, that talks more than it works. It promised the people of Ghana 1 job, 3 shifts, and called it 24-hour economy. It promised women banking. It promised to increase the producer price of cocoa to 6,000. Today, unemployment is on the rise. Today, this government has failed to implement its own flagship initiative, the initiative of 1 job, 3 shifts. Today, it has rather created a bureaucracy for its so-called 24-hour economy. To our mind in the minority, this 24-hour economy is more than a slogan. It's more of a slogan than a policy. The women banking has also not seen the light of day. Whilst the government talks about inflation levels having come down, the ordinary Ghanaian is going through crisis. Electricity has shot up by almost 30%. They came to repeal the e-levy, but ended up coming out with a law that charges 1 cedi per liter of petrol. They introduced the Dumsor levy. And above all, today, the suffering cocoa farmer is at the receiving end. It is time for our government to move away from slogans. It is time for our government to move away from the political rhetorics and focus on the core duties of governance, development, job creation, and the rule of law.
Ebusiafo no tin semwe anadom kuma no ba no deni onmunyamfo Alexander Afenyoma Kens wode abetudwa yen so ye de bi aba besom na ye to ansem ne so na ye de wa konsemfo from there eye Hajia Amina eye Adams na wono so kopium awa yawa so Easter na wo gina semrahye bedwani wo ho ne nkunimdie ekoma eye Baba Jamal eno enam so ama Hajia eye Amina Adams enso abone homode echum se on de wo gidie se eye ba koye odo ene nkabom ade bia ehu hia ye papa emu se eye abato no eba na wie ye nkunimdi ankwa ama no na emum ade a wode ne support ani ni bibia tai Baba Jamal echi se ne be ya wo mu ina wo metimi a support ne na nkunimdi mapa etimi akwa ama na isanse oba party no a wo mu ina wo mu eye nipa ba akwa nde on de ni gidia ne se ba akoye odo ene nkabom ebetimi abom ntem eno enam so ama Hajia Amina Adams abone humodin edit t-shirt eye ba ko 500 ana wabone humodin ede aba any bottle water ni ade a wode support eye Baba Jamal ni campaign a wo ye wo my Ghana hano na nipa wo gina eye maame Hajia Amina Adam enim no wono eye ni spokesperson eye Abdul Salam eye Daru wono ana wode nsem we aba betudwa wo chim se eye Hajia Amina Adams wo chim se wonde wo gidie ewo Baba Jamal mu se eye wo mu by election a wonde be hihye so nkunimdie mapa ebetimi akodi amano na ayawa so eastern so wo mwetimi afa wo montuma pa edi freno nti same way ana no pay eye Hajia Amina Adams wode abetudwa yesu ye dibi esomo ewo kase no eso na ye de wo to ansem ne so edi ama odia eye Hajia Amina Adam ne spokesperson emra wo mu di t-shirt ni ade koye na ano no so wode nsem dodo na etudwa wo chem se si ade Hajia Amina Adam eye ade a wo bone homodin edne ni monyam ni bibia atai Baba Jamal echi se ne be ya ba election nkonimdie mapa ebetimi akọ ede amane nsem we anna eye Abdul wono so wode abetu edwa
Baba Jamal t-shirt na ye print here plus bottles of water, packs of water. Yembeba Edema Honorable Baba Jamal. Yem for supporting the campaign. Hajia is a NDC a one party. Internal contest we Baba Jamal is victorious. Community party as selected as NDC representative. The only thing we can do, Hajia say, Ubia better Baba Jamal. They are pushing say. On the Prime Minister, Baba Jamal, the Prime Minister, said that NDC will remain will take over the seat and be able to take to Parliament and represent the people of Iowa.
But the way you just say, but just all the NDC Nima, he never come. Now election way in a I don't say now Zoom said the people win a child NDC, the spirit a uniting spirit and the spirit in the sending on my a fair day. One more okay now I know to have been Bia Babidumechi, a Mohammed Rami, number 1, a Dr. Zindu, and in a chief, and a Hajia Sudidiama. And wait, they say a couple, Sabi, and couple more way, and my own day, and my tree.
Even though we supported that but all is over. That is why we are here to support Baba Jamal to win the seat. I've said many things, and I've indicated earlier on that Ayawaso is a wonderful property of the NDC. Ayawaso will never fall to any party except the NDC. Ayawaso is blessed that anytime NDC is in power, we see development.
Maybe I hear Guru. His Excellency Baba Jamal on your candidate and Ankamina mini team and a managing why a party no say party in a managing why a party no candidate why a party the property never to be ano about at party no and so be I'm finding some same then you know young cambo a new to man say a master no kurumbia ya peno yankopon e de be man e wo ne kwan so
Anna Haja Adams saying in Crawford no Mudinechi waya wasu isne womodi abetu yomochem se siade eye baba jama womuna ede womu adwen baako ene ombibia atai nechi se ne be yankunimde mapa ebetimi akwadi ama na wabeye mrahye bedwani ede madiche ya womu waya wasu east abaton peso aso ne ede nsem no free ha na ede akonsem foforo mu dia eye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wo January bosmine de toso eduasa baako ewa fimpinuni eduonu ensiamo ana omode wo mo primaries ehhehye so na primaries na ba na wiye no Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wo no anankunimde ekoma na sesi abo my Ghana ha wo no ana wo ye Frank Atuni edema eye the New Patriotic Party NPP amenu kono ewo 2028 abato a ye de behhehye so ewo my Ghana ha no enam so emma eye NPP amenu kono dodo na abom homodin ekopie mu ewo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na kachia wo mode eye abasobode ensem ko diama ne se wetimi abone homode man kunimdie mapa we etimi akọ diama no eno enam so ama NPP eye Sweden branch no wo so abom homode endedwe wo mode abasobode ensem a emu edu emu ehwam de ekọ ama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia se eye abato no awie ye ne kunimdie mapa se etimi akọ ama ne mo mbra wo mote ye no omenya mbre antimi amfasa abasobodi ensemi ambre na fei enemre abemu akopiem ewo Sweden na NPP ameni kwa wo mo ho no ena aye nkaboma wo de nsema emu ehwam ede ekwa ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no mu twemu se we kra acho mo se wo mo enya gidie mapabi ewo ni mu se 2028 abato a ye beto ewo my Ghana hanin kunim die stronko ebetimi akọ ede amano enu nti abribia no wompem kọ nenim hwe na wama na bemu embu esanse omu ina ede wo mu bibia etan na chi na omu wogidie se ba ko ye odo ene nkabom eba omu ntema nkunimdie mapa ebetimi akọ ede ama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ewo 2028 metwe afimpinuni eduono eye nwotwe abato a ye beto ewo my Ghana ha se ne nti sesi ade omu ina no womode eye congratulations a emu ehwam ana womode kwama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia se wetimi edi nkunim ewo primacy mu asesi ade woye Frank Atuni adema the New Patriotic Party NPP amenu kono ewo my Ghana ha na yede wo eto ansem ne so anope na yede wo akọ nsem foforo mu edia eye yenuanu mozremifo a wo ewo my Ghana ha eye na wotwe mu ana womode wo mu Ramadan akomche no de ehhehye so ewo my Ghana asesi ade pepeni bia etwe kom eno enam so emma akopie mu ewo Kankwe South abaton peso so a eye onmonyamfo Ernest Adomako etwe mu se ne be ya obetimi akre eye odo eni eye we ede amomo no wabone homoden edi food staffs ahodo nnuane ne noma ende obia ne ne de wahehye ne kama wode akoma yenuanu mozemifo a wo mo ewo my Ghana ha ene ne mpeswa so ye Kankwe South mpepefo a wo mo hoina no ana Ernest Adomako abone homoden edi nnuane ene noma bi ebebo mo ma o makwamtwa a mo ye etimi akoso din edi amomo no wode sanuane na akomomo a wode support yo mo sabribia no eye ala enka mo ho na so makwamtwa wo mo de hihye so no muntimi fambe wiye ewo asundwem eye Ernest Adomako na do ye no ana yesu ye de bi esomo
obi antra si mo obi an ko bibia sa na ebe chichepo bro ona bu na minshira o nyame ye okese nyame mbo hupan mbacho ye ma wadawma ya unsaka odia na chese mo nyame shira ona bu Honorable Kion, the great man, no shots, La Carba, Atlarpama Siri, Allah Kiaeka, Yamishao, Yamaope, Nauko, Senabaya, Intentum, Sa Kakakra, Obian Sabkab, Obiab, Nisabekanidia, Inshallah. Namisha honorable. Nyami yo kesiye. Nyami boku bai. Inshallah. Tap Cheka wuce. Aja huta. Saboda muna da kira azumi inshallah. Allah ta albarka. Kama Yusuf. Allah sa
Ebusiafo enu nti kopiem ewo kan Kwe South abato mpeso asa eye onmonyamfo Ernest Adomako wono anawabone homoden aya doya emu edru sei ede amaomo ho anope yen so yedi bi ababe somu yedina sansemi so na yetwa ye ho anope akoje aboafo nkrato aba ye ba nsem no ye beto aso ede amo.
Yo, I'm on for and I am my papa at the bar, a KFM musical shopper. The Tosum, you know, who free a Kumasa Malcolm that Damono, a sunny at the bar at Dumino, Sabran Udu, a Sambra Junction, a Sambra Hotel, Quantana Sope. Now shop no any Sambra Hotel and the Dinja anymore. Would the free Sambra Hotel a wo sunny at the co Nankane and Hagan Hono, Anne, a ho and a KFM musical shop. The Tosum, you know, yet be in the fofro. Now the air can say, if the papa at Timiche. The Odia sorry, the Odi Gro Agro Ahudo. Juma de Bia Woody open here a young video musical instrument piano, a KFM into a sea. Ghana Muntie Asante Mai Muntie, a KFM musical shop. Anna Sabre, Yapiano for Munachai. I walk Premper the 2nd Street. Ufri old man come down and now sunny at the co adumno and it would do Sambra Hotel Quantana so not what done on Sandy Faso or Anna's KFM musical shop ewo Yanis Sambra Hotel Anna ewe anymore Yachow Abribia
General Messi Sir Mayor Brown and as a Mayor Jar Nefri Kumasia do KFM instrument store. Obi bisa sa se bomen fo dia what to ma woni sida what dey near my papa ejira woni na what to say yes what to no bibia kan wakoma ni nyina free KFM instrument store Kumasi Adum se mi kira na me to no ma mi timi ya ho me ka fi se fi papa mu anim na mi kina no wo betra ye ko ma ya do se kana twa nanka kana u ensemfu ayi.
Medo benami Ghana duko do ajaple ho duko kata. Mie cho nyanyi ade vena mi cho Talent Microfinance Limited Gajradopa. Mie wona susu savings, adishare, school buafo, cashback, ple bubua okata. Nenyebe egajom de mi agbo la letie tomegbeko ateun ahoga dodo. Kenenyebe egajom vivi la nenyebe o gahia ola atenwava ava de ogai kenehia fa.
Tanenyebe mi foncho mi afa jom yo kenye mi afa gadodo nyawa. Business loan elemiashi, church financing elemiashi, salary loan elemiashi, eye bubo li kenye personal loan. Nenyebe mi foncho business loan a enye gadodo ikemie nana asichalao. Nenyebe washiba keke alum eleswe we have talent mi pepegede nwo nenye washigba leswe ne woge wo kekegede ji to talent pomonu ome nenye be mi ponchu mi afa salary loan a enye gado mo ngike mi huna mi afa jirudu $1 nke ga nyo he ya va talent wo pay slip pe bank statement ye kwenye nwi hia o na kokoko salary loan le rate mi to keke akeji church financier personal loan va nenye habobo masoli hama eji fufofo sankuo jitao olila ashibobwe kekeake mia flegeno na nokem v choji nto jinwade vare kwereka mon popo kai ganyu he ya talent kuna kpoke ya ole chagbagba na do tare talent bena wo gado mo wa anobo buenami akpenami
etibe ya nyafi ke talent la
talent microfinance jengo amegan shipe ape letina tejibo hotame
miape kapomo enya 050-129-1298 alo 050-128-9119 talent woga kwamanu banto
Talent Microfinance, your channel of wealth.
Adeshimamba yesan mamuina kwaba edamasisa no pe mugusu etimo TV ho amoshe no so pe mukase wo KFM TV ne so anope mi koso ekai wo sensemi etwegu ewe abefo ntintam feed ne so Facebook and YouTube KFM TV GH and to betimi ahwebi na wa share na wa like na wa dwenche no so die guase ama me kama me to ansem ne so ede amaudia eye Abdul Rashid pupil wono so ede nsembi abetudwa for one district one factory initiative Ghana man penny dada nana adudanko ekufado ebo ne homode ede bon my Ghana haseya no die entimi engineer ade ada no eno anna eye Rashid pupil mu say one district one factory initiative entimi engineer no eye no ma bebre na lack of legislative framework entimi ankoso no eno enenam so ma sa one district one factory initiative we entimi ankoso ewo my Ghana same way ana we wode abetu eja
frame of the one district one factory. I mean, something has to be binding and compulsory and compelling for another government to pick it up and run with it. I don't know of any compelling factor about what I know about it is that it has failed. I mean, if you go to every region and tell them to give you 2 factories that are in operation, working, you can't find them in my region. I can't find them. The whole of Upper West region, you can't find one factory producing and exporting or supplying anywhere and all that. I think that it was more of a political pronouncement than a serious economic venture, and so no government will pick such a thing which is going to be a burden on you, rather than doing something that is much more practical, much more intrusive into the needs to create more value into the country. So I think that the 24-hour economy is a very positive trend, policy trend that will allow more people to work, that will encourage businesses to work more, and that is going to have a direct consequence.
Ebusiafo enu tinsem we and Dr. Rashid pupil wode abetudwa yen so ye de bi ababesum na nsem no one fence wa wasan edit to dwa ma wo chem say Emra Ghana man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wode ne nsa share 24-hour economy bill na sia ade abaye ade a ebebu adwuma ye papa o my Ghana ha no wo chem say obo man mu a eye private companies verse 400 and omabom homodin a wo mode wo krata ne ade aba wo mo pese 24-hour economy eye biwe wo mo so wo mode wo mo ho begim bi se ne be betimi aboa manipa dodo na etimi enya nnwuma aye wo my Ghana nti wo chese eye private companies verse 400 yesese a Womina air press a wombetimi enya 24-hour economy air be wombetimi enya mu bi ahye na ejuma etimi abo my Ghana has in some way air Abdul Rashid pupil wono anosan editudwa.
The economy a new breath, meaning that we are pumping into the private sector the kinds of incentives that can let them employ more people, create more value. If they are exporting, they export more, and be able to move this economy to the next level. So the 24-hour economy is a very important economic policy that is going to touch every sector of the economy and will have a total effect on the growth of the country's economy and the nation as a whole. So It was good the president signed the bill into law. It's now an act. And once it is an act, it requires us to stand up and work more. Young people are going to be employed in areas where we are going to have 24-hour economy in operation. About 442 companies have approached us and say they want the incentives that will enable them to work 24 hours. It requires that more people are going to be employed. And this is something very good to me. I'm impressed about it because I like the fact that it is getting the real targets. The real target is the private sector. Engineer them, give them confidence, courage, and give them the needed incentive to pick up and then to run with it. So it's a great opportunity for us to have the 24-hour economy signed by the president to become an act.
Ebusiafo anunti semwe ana Abdul Rashid Pilpo wade abetudwa yenso yedi bi ababesomo ewa no pa eye no so pe mo kase ne so na edi wo free sansem ne mu na yede wa consent from there eye presiding bishop at the Methodist Church Ghana Johnson Esiama eye Jedu wono so abone homodin anope wode nsem bi abetudwa wode kwama Ghana ban ni titu ene Ghana man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wochem sese ade nkebe ya wombone homodin efa policies ahodo ebeboa ema embebunu ahodo mu wo man Ghana ha mu kita nsan no djuma ne ade no ebetimi abo mo so metimi enya bibi aye a ebeboa ma bibia no mo ho ebetimi ahenhan mo eno nti won de wo hwe senke de betimi aye eye to education and entrepreneurship eno ade bia se mpenifo ehwe no mo de policies bi saba ebeboa ye papa ma bibia no embebunu awo mo ewo nsan no djuma ewo man Ghana ha no ometimi enya bibi aye some way and a presiding bishop at the Methodist Church Ghana eye Johnson Esiama Jedu wono so anope wode abaye de bi esomo.
Well, the Methodist Youth Fellowship is 80 years old, and beginning this year 2026 the Youth Fellowship has started a year-long activities of celebration. The Methodist Youth Fellowship is described as the backbone of the Methodist Church Ghana. The church itself is the Church of Jesus Christ, but Jesus uses human beings. And that's why we describe the Methodist Youth Fellowship as the backbone of the Church of Christ. As the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, the Most Reverend Professor J. Kwabena Asamoah Jedu, I'd like to congratulate my young people. I'm very, very proud of them. I'd like to say that the church is also proud of them. The young people, although belong to the Methodist Church Ghana, also belong to the nation Ghana. So all the decisions, activities of this country affects them. And so I'd like to use the opportunity of this celebration not only to congratulate the young people of the Methodist Church, but also to congratulate all young people in this country and to thank them for the various things they do. I go around this country on pastoral visit as presiding bishop, and I see a large body of incredibly hard-working young people in our cities, towns, and villages. Some of them are farmers. Some of them have opened small businesses trying to make a living for themselves. And so as I encourage these young people to make their contribution to support their own families and also help build our nation, I'd like to also join those who are the policymakers, especially our politicians and public office holders, to make sure that we are paying close and considerable attention to the work of young people and the lives of young people, whether through education or whether through entrepreneurial programs, to make sure that we concentrate on them. Sometimes the examples that we set them, if you take those in public office, the examples we set them sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. So I like to encourage politicians and policy holders and policy makers to make sure that they pay attention to the needs of our young people, because our future depends on them. And I do hope that we'll take the opportunity of the Methodist Youth Fellowship celebrating the anniversary to give the young people all the encouragement that they deserve. Thank you very much, and may God bless.
Ebusiafo anunti semwe ana presiding bishop Edema Methodist Church Ghana Johnson Esiamajedu wodi abetudwaye so ye de bi ababesom anope na ye de wo every sansem nimu na ye de wa concern from their Ghana Prison Service and the dre wo money a year microfinance and small loan center a year maslok for wo money o maye nkaboma wo mudi training bi ahihye so a eno no a year training program a year tricycle ni a year inmate ahodo a wo mo ewo ye prisons ahodo mu no wo money o maye bakwa no ebebua mo so wo mo skills ahodo a mo no etimi ejana ne na so ye papa de ama wo no tisesi ade Ghana Prison Service wo money maslok for ayen kaboma eno eyade a ebebua ma inmate enso wo mo skills no etimi ejana ne na so ye papa.
The ultimate aim is to get the master trainers, train our inmates who will be participating fully in the assembling of the tricycles and the motorbikes across the country. Half the time, we tend to forget that being in prison may be something that can be so close to you, and therefore we must be careful how we treat the people behind bars. It is going to be an opportunity for them to learn the skill and also on release get the employment that they need to be making a livelihood behind the bars.
Behind bars no no bebre na wo hokra na omonzo enwe boni bi no ma ye na emom obi wo ho ye ntwa to so obi wo ho bibi kakra bi oye na ama na kwa akopie ho enti ehun se ye nuanom na omo wo honom no se empo yetimi ye bibi de boa wo mo na obepie aba na ska kakra bi da ho obetimi de ahya abrabo na ase foforo a e ade a ebeboa
bebre ba because they say ye dru ba bi akra 2,000 plus biade yediba across all the region. Tis the muhuni hey ye just around 200 to 500 as a dudona akra ne wechri and I non so ya few in kwa afi de bibe samba afi beto se bibe samba na sebe ye betimi edi akriti nyuma ama ankrankra eni mebuna eni adwumaye no musa koma no.
Ebusiafo aniti Ghana Prison Service wo money maslog mpenifa no maye nkaboma mo de sa tricycles ahodo aba eno ebeboa ma inmate ahodo a wo mo ewo ye prisons no wo mo so metimi enya bibi aya no pay ye de mu nsem ye de aba abesomo na ye to ansem ne so de ama ode a eye na wotwe nwe ana gamanche eye Kentucky take true eye the second wo born humodin say ukopie mu ewo yana awotemale eye na kachi na wo den instruction ko akoma ne mra wo kono fofi anto antama eye gamanche ukunya akwenhia ho a eno enam so ama wo mudin kopie mu ewo Ghana Medical Center eye Legon eye wo Medical Center ho ndie wo mo ekohwe no na eno enam so ma Ghana Mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebone humodin ekopie mu ewa yaresabia ha wo so wo de ne instruction ko ekoma na akwenhia we esi wo oti mantememra wokopie mu ewo temale no anasesi ade eye traditional rulers eni a doctor for ni nurses for hodo a wo mo ehwe gamanche ede abetudwo mo chese esi ade nyankopon ayadum ama gamanche na kwanhia wokohia ye woti mantem ne sesi ane ho atona wo mo ehwese wo mo yino efia yaresabia ho edina befia no nti obi bia wo bɔ ne homoden ebestra no womoda obibia sisi ade nyankopon aye na dom ama eye akwenhye to no bibia atodin ama ne ho ankama sisi ade eye hospital a discharge gamanche eye Kentucky take true the second amasisia de was sign abeshe ni jumasi papa wo my Ghana ha eno eye enigede sema no pay yen so ye de bi aba besomo ewo kase no so ye gina gama nchensemi so ni adane ye ho sima abaye ba nsem no ye de ko edwedi Yegusua ewo eyanopa no nso kase no emu na mekoso kai wo sensemi etwegu ewo ya abefo ntentam video no so Facebook and YouTube KFM TV GH enu ntu betimi ahwebi na wa share na wa like na wa dwenche no studio go ase ama me kama meto ansem no so ewo edwadie mu dia eye finance minister Dr. Kesel atofo and ndebie wodi nsembi abetudwema woni eye Ghana posifo ahodra wo mo ewo man mu ehia ya watching say eye sika bia so eye 85 million Ghana cedi transit fraud eno ehwa ba asem no eno ana Dr. Kesel atofo enso abeka said dia fa watching say sadi we see ye no ade awaye disappointed ye papa pesa say when susu say bibi say ebetimi akoso ne nsema wodi tu dwana no pay yenso ye de bi eso.
Very disgusted about what happened yesterday and very, very, very disappointed. I say this because, you see, if you have a country with such magnitude of development challenge, where unemployment is high, up to date, school children are studying under trees, where we struggle to fund free senior high school, where basic amenities, even at certain hospitals, are a challenge, and you see revenue leakage of such magnitude, you get disappointed. And it's coming from customs. I will say it as it is. What happened yesterday was nothing short of organized crime. It's a group of citizens coming together to do a campaign.
Ebusia fa no ntin samwe ana Dr. Kesel atofo wodi abetudwa yen so ye de bi aba besum yeguso a ewedwedi nsem ni mu dia National Chief Farmer I friend say Alhaji Alhassan Bukari we National Chief Farmer Edema Ghana and President Edema Ghana Cocoa Coffee and Share Nut Farmers Association na ono so e de abetudwa wotun sa edi Africa ko farmers ahodo a wo mo ewo my Ghana ha say wo mo nkoma kuma ntumo miem ne o monye ba ko na eye cocoa price a aban attitude say ehwi no wo chese eye global eye ade bi a ebro Ghana so ayesoso ye bibia fa ho a enye ye no nti obi bia enka na kuma nto mo yem na se bibia etutodin a wo mo so wo behwe amomodin hyehyɛ pa egu kwan mo edi ama won semwe ana Alhaji Alhassan Bukari wode abetu eja
na wo nyina wo mo yema na buana nya ono ko faska no hai sabai to koko no buana wode mai no na wode ko amona ne buana e koto no da below aban ba yeska no hai fa nti sabai si oti koko so a wanti koko no so enye koko no oti so ne bo no ma e da so no ene eguso ho a free fertilizer no egusi da so mai such in susu no e say universities no and so abai age free some say okoda ko school a obetua no ho koko board betua ye kan wo say ye bofon kakra ne mbom ya mba fom kesi we nyina fertilizer free take university no free koko board be fakano ko afọ nyina na omo ya omo sa ti I say we have no ensa botare na ma aban no odun ya ho papa because say koko boss apega abeba pega bo no ti de wo nyina ne say e ku afọ no say nya abusaba fo bia ma obi bedada ye obi dada ya onu be open enye bibi na ope we na no pro na wo o onse o ko obeboka onzo boka kokko no want me to be na ena ebe ana se o dum to kokko no a ena ye mai e wo din krampo se bibia kokko se kokko ni faso ale nti kokko ekwefo no mama anuma me show ogunde so ompia ingi tum dia banda bae no na yensom yie kakra bi na bon sha kosura ye bon be sha pega ma ye bio ti me pese me me ku afo ni anti na omumfantu omufo
Ebusuafo anu ntin semwe ana anope eye Alhaji Alhassan Bukari a woyen National Chief Farmer Edema eye Cocoa Farmers Association a wo my Ghana ha no wono ana wodin semwe abetudwa no pe yen so ye de bi ababesumo ewo dwedi nsem no emu ye gina so ne de dwedi nsem ni nia aba na wie ye na metwa me ho sema me ba me de nsem no ekọ enigede emu Yadin sem no kwani jedie mu dia eye Ghanaian comedian bako wo my Ghana ha wono so eba ne pastor ene nsem kwa wo bone homodin wo mu yie papa padi ke bi na meka ne ho asemi ne nedwe wono so edin nsem bi ene nanu nsem abetudwa dia fa galamsey a ekoso e wo my Ghana ha na wo chim se galamsey e national issue ye na ya de soa enu nti se ebe take decision bi a ye ma pressure bi emfa ye ne enkofa decision bi a ochine bi no ebesan abeha yankase wumse abribia wumse galamsey no nipa dodo na ye ne moma wo se yetu ye boase ne na ye den hihye pa egu kwam se ne be betimi aboa asade we yetimi aso ano ewo my Ghana hansem we ana wono so wode abetudwa efa ho ayen so ye de bi esomo ewo kase no eso
Otuano, when you speak, let there be hope in the things you say. JM, don't let anybody stress you. Solve the galamsey at the time you want, okay? Because you are not the one who gave over 2,000 mining licenses. You are not the one who passed the law that we should mine in. How do you pass a law saying we should mine in forest reserve? How? It's reserved for nature. If you can't no more, what pass the law saying mining? It's evil. Make nobody give GM. And you see, because you have a lenient person, Obia, sorry, okay, so go to demonstration. Go. Now, once I go no bit now. Order from above. Montreal, when I'm on farm, on Chessel, Mom, 2 weeks. So, GM, don't stress yourself. Solve galamsey at your own time. Declare emergency, declare this. I'm with you, uncle. Do it at your own time. Big up to my rival, Mr. Obsado. Kosua Chi, MPP, sir. Kosua Chi. I'm a phantom. Fly like a ball of bed. Hey, Father Dixon. Why are you now? Father Dixon is you're a father. And a father, so to become a father, you must use a thing to.
Ebusuafo no ntin semwe anadike bi wode abetudwa yen so ye de bi ababesomo ewo kase no so ye gina ni nsem so ne de ani gede nsem ene anopa no so mpam kase no anope medeninia aba na wie yen nsem no na edo so ye papa na anope de di mu akotini ebie ni se eye NPP amenu kwa wo mo ewo Sweden no wo de abasobode nsem ekwama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia se wetimi abone homode mankunimdie akọ edi ama no wo prime minister wo mo de hyehye so wo my Ghana ha no eno ye de mu nsem ye de ebesomo sa enso so ana ye nuanu mozemifo wo mo Ramadan ya komcha mo de hyehye so no eyo kan kwe south mrahye bedwani Ernest Adomako abone homodin edi nnuane ne ade akomomo a eno no wode support yo mo no so yede mu nsem yede ebesom anope yede dwede nsem eka ho edema eye national chief farmer enso echum sen kabeyi akoko pharmacy wo momodo ene ba ko ye embro mo ntem na eye wo mo pressure wo ne koso efa akoko bu a yates no echum se ye bibi global eno nti se bibi atodin a wo besan atomu ede amom bioma no so yede mu nsem yede ebro yede ni jede nsem eka ho edema DKB a wo ye comedian e wo my Ghana han endano pay wono so ede nsem bi ebetudwa efa galamsi ho a yede mu nsem yede ebro we ni nsem ne afoforo pi anope ye bo ano yede besom se no so pe mo kase wo KFM TV no eso ye beda ya bo afo ase KFM Musical Center dada bateka bana Talent Microfinance wo mo ananope wo mo ebo metwi doma mede nsemi medeba ebesom anope okenkanfo a wote me kano edin a meje so ene mami esin kroma yeda mu ina ase se moje bret na motive ho ehwe kasi yakra mu ina